बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम, अस्सलाम वालेकुम, गुड इवनिंग एंड नमस्कार टू एवरीवन। मैं हूं फ़खर यूसुफजई और आप देख रहे हैं डिबेट विद फ़खर। डिबेट विद फ़खर में आज फिर एक दफ़ा जिस तरीके से मैं आप लोगों को पिछले 2-3 वीक से बता रहा हूं कि अफगानिस्तान में जैसे जैसे डेवलपमेंट्स हो रही हैं, तो पूरी दुनिया का जो भी मीडिया है वो उसके ऊपर बात कर रहा है, वो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक हो, प्रिंट हो या सोशल मीडिया हो। हर जगह अफगानिस्तान के हवाले से बात हो रही है और उसकी वजूहत ये है कि मतलब हुकूमतें, गवर्नमेंट्स चेंज होती रहती है अराउंड द वर्ल्ड, ये कोई नई बात नहीं है। लेकिन लोगों के कंसर्न, इंक्लूडिंग मी एज ए पाकिस्तानी, और दुनिया के जितने भी लोग हैं, तो सबके कंसर्न्स हैं, सबका एक डर है, एक खौफ है लोगों के दिलों में कि तालिबान जो 21-22 साल पहले आया था और उस वक्त जो करता था, अब लोगों के साथ क्या करेंगे, क्योंकि अब लोग ज्यादा मॉडरेट हो गए हैं, ज्यादा उनकी ड्रेसिंग, उनकी बाकी चीजें बिल्कुल चेंज है। अगर हम 21 ईयर अगो की बात कर ले और अभी की बात कर लें तो इट्स टोटली डिफरेंट। तो ये सारी चीजें हैं, लोगों का वो डर और खौफ मेरे ख्याल में वो बिल्कुल हकीकी है, उसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है। लोगों का कहीं कहीं पे भी अगर लोग खौफजदा हैं, वो अमेरिका में हो, पाकिस्तान में हो, हिंदुस्तान में हो, यूरोप के अंदर हो, सबका खौफ मेरे ख्याल में बिल्कुल ठीक है, क्योंकि हमें जो वहां से तस्वीरें मिल रही हैं तो उसमें बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी हैं जो डरावनी हैं, डराने वाली हैं। पाकिस्तान के हवाले से बहुत सारे लोगों ने इसको सेलिब्रेट किया कि यार बहुत अच्छा हुआ कि वहां पे तालिबान आए, लेकिन अब कुछ थोड़ा सा वो बुखार जो है लोगों का आहिस्ता आहिस्ता इज गोइंग डाउन, और लोग अब समझ आ रही है कि मौलवी फकीर साहब जो है वो भी बाहर आ गए और उन्होंने वीडियो रिलीज कर दी अपनी पश्तो में। मेरे ट्विटर अकाउंट के ऊपर मौजूद है और उसमें उन्होंने कहा कि हम वही इमारत इस्लामी चाहते हैं जो अफगानिस्तान में सिस्टम शुरू हुआ है। तो क्या पाकिस्तानी लोग इसके लिए तैयार है? 220 मिलियन की पॉपुलेशन है। इन सारी चीजों के लिए आज मुझे ज्वाइन किया है, आप लोग सब जानते हैं, प्रीति ओपाला, वन एंड ओनली द गॉर्जियस लेडी। थैंक यू वेरी मच प्रीति फॉर ज्वाइनिंग डिबेट विद फखर यूसुफजई।
Assalamu alaikum, namaste, sat sri akal, adab, Fakhar Yousafzai saab. Thank you so much for having me on your amazing show. Always a pleasure to be on your show again. And we meet again when it's very exciting and there's a lot going on in our region.
Of course, you are absolutely right, Preeti. We were talking before the show about the Afghan issue. You know, the Preeti is the analyst, the senior analyst, and joining so many shows on the daily basis, the Indian channel as well as the US channels. तो वहाँ पे बात करती रहती है मुख्तलिफ इस रीजन के हवाले से। तो यकीनन अफगानिस्तान ऐसा नहीं है कि उसके ऊपर प्रीति बात नहीं करती होगी या उनके कोई कंसर्न नहीं होंगे। अक्सर हम बात करते थे और क्रिकेट के हवाले से तो हम बात करते रहते हैं, लेकिन इस रीजन के हवाले से और स्पेशली जो इतनी बड़ी एक डेवलपमेंट हुई है, तो इस हवाले से अगर हम बात नहीं करेंगे तो ये एक ज्यादती होगी। प्रीटी, what are you thinking about the current situation in Afghanistan? आप अमेरिका में हैं और आप वहां से इसको देख रही हैं, लेकिन क्या नजर आ रहा है वहां पे? आपकी मतलब एनालिसिस क्या है और वहां के लोगों का पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू क्या है इस सिचुएशन के हवाले से इन अफगानिस्तान?
Ji, bilkul. Thank you again for inviting me to speak on this important issue. So in America, good news is everyone is upset with the administration. Everybody is very upset with Biden, Democrats and Republicans alike. I think 9 out of 10 Americans are shocked. They're angry. They're ashamed. They feel 20 years, trillions of dollars, so many lives lost, American lives, Afghan lives, Pakistani lives, lives from all around the world have been lost for what? They were supposed to fight the Taliban, and they basically they handed Afghanistan to Taliban on a platter and abandoned in a jiffy. With, I mean, this was quicker than expected, and this is not the way you leave a conflict zone. They should know better. They should realize that they should have realized that if they leave like this abruptly, there will be a vacuum, and that will be very quickly filled overnight, as it did. And I'm shocked. I think the whole world is looking at America, and there's no trust that this is a world leader that is going to do the right thing. And I think all countries are also thinking, is America going to come to our rescue? Allies are wondering if America has the capacity or the will to defend them or help them if if needed. And I think maybe there's almost no country, probably not even Canada, thinks that they can depend on the US. So very sad day, I think, from that part of point of view. Yes, it's sad and shocking to see all these scenes from Afghanistan, where people literally falling off planes, and because the desperation, all they want to
Yeah.
do is just get out, because the life that is staring ahead of them is not something they want to live, right? So they're willing to risk their lives, to just for a better tomorrow, a better alternative, which is very, very sad. I think the world has let Afghanistan down, and I think the world has let Afghan people down. However, their own leadership also has,
Yeah.
come on, their prime minister left,
Yeah.
fled overnight. I thought he just fled Kabul. I realized later that he actually fled the country, and there are
Yeah.
so many
Exactly.
questions. Like, some people are saying he left with hundreds of millions of dollars, and
Yeah.
we don't, there's so many questions. And of course, the vice president, Amrullah Saleh, has now decided that he's going to be the de facto leader, but at
Yeah.
least he's showing some intent that he wants to lead the country at the time of crisis, and he's willing to make an alliance with other, I guess, the anti-Taliban resistance, right? The Northern Front, and so on. So very, very interesting. I think India is will if you ask any Indian, they're saying we want to wait and watch and see what
Exactly.
happens.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
It's a moving story. We are affected. We will be affected, but I think we
Yeah.
are just being careful in seeing how things unfold. Um, and if we play our cards right, it might not be such a big threat to us. I think people are panicking. At least from an Indian perspective, they're panicking. They don't need to. Things are unfolding as they
Yeah.
do, but definitely for the whole area, it's very, very turbulent, volatile times, and we don't know. Actually, nobody knows. Taliban has become very
Yeah.
unpredictable, right? We don't know which
Absolutely
way they're
right.
going to go.
You are absolutely right, Preeti. What do you think about the Joe Biden administration, about the Ashraf Ghani statement right now? He is in Abu Dhabi, and what are you thinking about the Indian strategy? The Jay Shankar was in New York 2 days ago, and when media asked him that what is your strategy for the Afghanistan, he said our first priority is to evacuate the people from Afghanistan, all people from Afghanistan. Do you think that Hindustan is going with their right strategy right now or not?
Yeah, Bilkul. Great question. So, as far as the Indian strategy goes,
Yeah,
yeah, I think I'm happy with Jay Shankar, and also our permanent representative to
yeah,
the UN, the ambassador. I think he read out quite a long statement, and he said we we don't recognize the Taliban government as such, but whoever is now in power in Taliban, of course, we have to work with them, and we will support that power structure as long as the conditions are met, which is that Afghanistan cannot be used for terrorism, and women's rights and minority rights
exactly.
need to be honored. So these are good points, and I think they'll enforce it. And Jayashankar, firstly, yes, evacuating Indian citizens, and I guess whichever citizens they can help, is
Yeah,
priority number one. I think it's important to get people out of there.
yeah,
And beyond that, of course, he will want to wait and watch again and see how things unfold, because I think we have some options, but and they're not bad options. We don't have troops on the ground there, and there were many things that we didn't do. We were not that active, to be honest, as active as we could. However, might not be such a bad thing, because now we're not entangled in that way. But this is an opportunity for us to get involved. I think this current U.S. administration, I mean, they keep giving press conferences every day. Nobody
yeah,
is happy to listen to them. No one believes them. There's no trust. We all feel, uh, that like our government lied to us and failed us. I think parents of those soldiers that perished, in
Hmm.
these last 20 years in Afghanistan are and veterans are completely just distraught, and they don't know what to
Yeah.
do, not just in the US, but in the UK, in Europe, all countries that were involved and that lost people. I think they're very disappointed. Um, and this administration is under huge pressure. Some are
Hmm.
calling for impeachment. I think this is going to affect their chances in 2024 massively.
Hmm.
I'd be very surprised if they bounce back from this, because this would be a catastrophe of a lifetime.
Right. Okay. What about the Ashraf Ghani strategy when he lived 2 or 3 days ago when he was leaving the Afghanistan? He released his video that I'm standing with my nation and this and that. Our army is fighting against the Taliban. But after 2 or 3 days, he left Afghanistan not in a daylight. I can say that कि वो अंधेरे में भाग जाना और अपने कौम को इस तरीके से छोड़ जाना और ये कहना कि भाई मैं वहां पे आई डोंट वांट टू सी द ब्लड शेड ओवर देयर इन काबुल. तो ये कोई तरीका तो नहीं है. और उसने एक नजीबुल्लाह साहब की बात की कि मैं वो वाला अंजाम भी नहीं चाहता था.
Yeah.
तो क्या उसने ये वाला स्टेप जो था ये वाकई अफगानियों के हक में ये स्टेप लिया था या आप इसको दूसरे से देख रही हैं?
जी, yes, ये कोई तरीका नहीं है. I mean, it's shocking how he just disappeared, and we don't
हम्म.
know if monies were involved or not. And we didn't know if he was going to Oman or Dubai, or I guess now he's in Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi, as you
Yeah.
mentioned. Safe and sound. Well, his people are. I mean, Kabul is on fire. Afghanistan is burning, and his vice president. Didn't flee the country. He's in the
Hmm.
middle of everything, and he's willing
Yeah.
to, share power with whoever. He's willing to even fight with whoever, and that
Yeah.
that shows a lot of intent. I think the Afghan people are proud people. They're proud of their army. They are not going to be forgiving at all. And I'm not so sure he's going to be welcome back. He might not
Hmm.
even want to come back. He might
Yeah.
end up being exiled there, as we have seen with many leaders in that region. When they betray their country, or their country feels betrayed by them, there is no
Hmm.
second chances. And this is when the country really needed him. And now we can look back at all the years that he was in power, and you wonder, well, did he really care? I mean, what did he actually do? He was put in power by the US and by the
Hmm.
West. He didn't even legitimately win the election, right?
Yeah.
Abdullah did, but what happened? So this is really not the. I think America and the West have got it very wrong here,
Hmm.
meddling in elections of another sovereign country. They talk
Right.
about democracy, but they're not really enforcing true democracy if they put who they want to, and then manipulate the
Right.
situation,
Right.
and
Okay.
and don't even and give him a free pass almost.
Right, exactly. Pretty, what do you think about the Pakistani people? They were celebrating the event when the government changed in Afghanistan, in Kabul. They were very happy and they were saying to each other, Mubarak ho, wahan pe badi achhi hukumat aayi hai. But right now, we have seen a video, we have watched a video from TTP, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. और उन्होंने सीधा कहा है कि we want the emirate system in Pakistan. क्या नजर आ रहा है कि क्या पाकिस्तान में इस तरह का चेंज आ सकता है जो हमें काबुल में नजर आया?
Gee, it's I think Pakistani people, wonderful people, they should be very careful and
Exactly.
not celebrate early. It's premature. It's a false alarm. Don't fall for it. It I know it seems like a win, and it is a win, I think, for the military and the intelligence maybe, but not for the Pakistani
Hmm.
citizen. This will come back to bite them, because and also you have to understand, the Taliban, I think, uh, as far as taking over Kabul, they kind of did this on their own without any help from outside,
Exactly.
country. So they don't owe Pakistan anything for what they've done. So they're not going to feel indebted, and they will feel actually very independent, I think, in this all these recent sort of actions. And they don't need Pakistan in a way, and these are people who will, they'll cut ties and they'll turn on you. And one day they're fighting for against America, the other day they're with America. So I think they're very fickle, like a fickle mistress almost. And I think it seems like a moral victory for Pakistan or some people in Pakistan, but it's not a real victory. You have to be careful,
Right.
because ultimately, what does the Taliban stand for? It's
Exactly.
oppression, regression, control, not giving any rights to women, especially, and children, and kind of this very old way, archaic way of living that I don't think any Pakistani citizen wants to be subjected to. So they
Absolutely
will
right.
not like it. And now you have the TTP talking about this is not good, because the TTP is very much in sync with the Afghan Taliban, right? So if you have them in power, then their cohorts over here, uh, they'll have more of a say. So I think you have to be very careful and don't look at the battle, look at the bigger war, I would say.
Right. Okay. What are you thinking about the Afghanistan, not Afghanistan, about the Taliban right now? The people are saying this is the change Taliban from 1999 to 2021. Are you agree with this statement or not?
No, definitely not. I don't think people change. Philosophy, the fundamentalism doesn't change,
Right.
and the foundation doesn't. Their ideology has not changed. They're following the same thing. They can say anything. I guess they're up keeping up with the times and having press conferences,
Yeah.
and some people are very some of the Western media is very excited about these press conferences, and they're trying to sort of almost kind of shield what they're up to. No,
Yeah.
I think very soon we'll start seeing videos of what they really want to do, and they're not ashamed of what they want to bring to that region and their country, and they very openly let the world know who they are and what they're about. They're already doing it subtly, but I think in the weeks and the months to come, they'll be very, very overt about it. And unfortunately, you will see attacks and all sorts of nefarious activities. And I think people will really regret it. So there is no good Taliban and bad Taliban. It's an ideology, and you just people can say that they've changed, but there is no proof that they have. In fact, they might even get even more defensive with now they're losing allies as well, and
Yeah.
they're kind of almost on their own now as well, and maybe they want to be on their own, right? They think that they have
Right.
power. They think that they don't need the people that have helped them, and god forbid they get into bed with China, which is coming, right?
Exactly.
It's definitely on the cards. That's not a marriage you want to be a part of.
Absolutely, absolutely, Abrit, you are very right. Actually, I want to ask about the situation in Balochistan after the takeover of Taliban in Kabul, and the situation in the Indian side Kashmir. क्या नज़र आ रहा है क्योंकि इंडिया के कंसर्न ये बहुत बड़ा है कि कश्मीर के अंदर हमारी फोर्सेस मौजूद है और उनके साथ जो वहाँ पे लोग जंग लड़ रहे हैं हमारी फोर्सेस के खिलाफ उनको एक सपोर्ट हो सकती है और पाकिस्तान का कंसर्न है कि बलूचिस्तान के अंदर शायद सिचुएशन मजीद इफ यू नो अबाउट द यस्टरडे अटैक इन गवादर ऑन द चाइनीज इंजीनियर तो इस तरह की चीजों के बारे में ये चीजें मजीद बढ़ सकती हैं इन कश्मीर एंड इन बलूचिस्तान.
Gee, these are volatile areas. I mean, the big problem with that, the issue with which happened in Balochistan is it was a Chinese engineer, right? So it
Yeah,
wasn't even a Baloch
yeah,
citizen, or it was. I mean, now China's upset. They are not
yeah,
going to be happy with what's going on, and if that happens again, they don't want to sort of continue with that alliance. So that is already there is so much resentment. I think lot of Baloch nationals are
yeah,
very much they have a lot of problems with the Pakistani army. Obviously, they want independence in their
yeah,
own way, but these sort of incidents don't help. And then, as far as Kashmir is concerned, yes, the biggest threat that India has is that this fallout with what's happening in Afghanistan, all these radicals, militants, they will make their way to fight the great fight in Kashmir. I will say that as long as they're tangled up in Afghanistan with the TTP or other, the Northern Front or whatever, they will not bother with Kashmir because it seems like they're entangled with lots of other things. Um, so
Hmm.
that's one way to look at it. Of course, India has to be careful. I think national security, border security should be a very utmost priority. We need to make sure that we don't have, I mean, these sleeper cells and all of this. We
Yeah.
hope that people aren't being mobilized because I must say, in the past couple of years, uh, things have been pretty quiet. I think a lot of Kashmiris have understood that, especially post 370 abrogation, this is the reality now. And whether they like it or not, the state of Jammu and Kashmir had acceded into India in 1947.
Right.
That's just the way that things go. And there's, independent, autonomous Kashmir or independent Kashmir is not going to be a reality. And it's an Indian state. So yes, they have
Hmm.
issues with the central government, and I'm sure central government should do a little better, I think, in
Yeah.
making them feel as much part of India as everyone else. They're sort of talking about it, which is great.
Hmm.
So yeah, there are threats with Kashmir, but I think there's so many other things even more important for the Taliban right now. Probably Kashmir is not on their radar yet, and
Right.
hopefully it
Right.
won't be.
Okay. Okay, pretty. One thing which is very important. What do you think about the role of China, Pakistan, in India, in Afghanistan right now?
Yeah, great point. I think this is you don't want this kind of three-way action, coming together. That will
Yeah.
be very dangerous because as far as India is concerned, we will really be encircled. Um, However, I think what is going to make that difficult, there's so much internal fighting now, even within Afghanistan. There's three different factions of the Taliban, right? There are
Right.
several different groups within Taliban. They don't always agree with each other. They have
Yeah.
differences. And then you have now Pakistan and the Taliban are in cahoots over some things. China's got its own issues. In some
Yeah.
ways, China's eyeing Afghanistan for itself. And when it does that, I don't think Pakistan will be too happy.
Hmm.
And I think somebody said it best. They said, if China wins, Pakistan loses. If Pakistan wins, China loses. Even though they're technically working
Yeah.
together, they wouldn't like that. Neither wants that. So I
Yeah.
think there is so much i- rift in between these three nations. I don't think harming India is their top priority
Hmm.
for any of them. I think they're going to be so much consumed with everything else that's going. And don't forget, we don't know what the West is going to do. I mean, America, this whole thing seems very fishy to me. It's too quick,
Hmm.
it's too abnormal. Something
Hmm.
doesn't make sense. It almost looks like everybody knew about it, and it happened according to like action, boom. So America might have some things up its sleeve too. They might come back there.
Hmm.
God forbid, we don't want that. But things might happen. Maybe NATO is going to show up there.
All right.
Then what?
Right.
You're going to have a whole new God. You have a forever war here. So
All right.
time will tell how this is going to unfold, but it's not over yet.
Okay. Okay. What do you think about the Xinjiang movement and especially the Turkestan Islamic movement? Can the Afghan Taliban help them in China or not?
Yeah, great point. I mean, it's very unfortunate that what's happening in Xinjiang region, and none of the OIC countries are really stepping up at all to do. In fact,
Yeah.
more voices are coming out from the West, right? The
Hmm.
American activists talk more about it than some of the other countries that should be. I think, well, what the Taliban could do is. Uh, they could pressure. I don't know if they will or not. They do have
Yeah.
some cards up their sleeve. They could pressure China, especially since China is wants things that they have, right? So they could pressure China to stop what they're doing if they want to be in any kind of an alliance. But
Hmm.
I don't know if they'll do that, and China is, they'll say that they'll be good, but we know that under the surface everything continues. They're not transparent. We never know what's going on in that country. It's completely
Right.
closed. You may be shocked to find out the reality, right? So they will. It's all lip service. I think it's
Okay,
very
okay, okay,
unfortunate because unless somebody
okay.
breaks in there and frees everyone, I don't think you can trust them to do the right thing.
Right. Pretty, the last question about one of our favorite game, cricket. Of course, you are also
Yes,
covering that. I also love the cricket.
yes.
The Afghan cricket team and the World Cup, T20 World Cup is coming up in October, from 14 October. That will be start from Oman and Dubai.
Hmm.
What do you think about the future of the Afghan cricket team and the Afghan cricket? Actually, they were grooming, and we have seen so many good contests by the Afghan cricket team. But right now, the situation is very unclear. What do you think about that?
Yeah, gee, this is the most heartbreaking, I think, when
Hmm.
when everyday Afghans are affected in this way, especially the ones that we love and the ones that are known. It's heartbreaking. Rashid
Yeah.
Khan,
Yeah.
he's playing the 100 in in London right now,
Yeah.
and I think when he played a game and the day when that all of that happened, the siege, he had the flag, the Afghan flag painted on his face, his forehead,
Yeah.
which was very moving. Look, this T20 Afghan team is exciting. They're one of the best teams to watch for. I want them to be there for the World Cup. I think
Hmm.
everyone wants them. I know a billion Indians want them to be in the World Cup because they will make the game so much more exciting. And anyway, they're in our group, right? It's
Hmm.
such an
Yeah.
exciting group. So I
Yeah.
think, but luckily, Nabi, Rashid Khan, and some of the other players are safe. They're fine. Their families are safe.
Hmm.
I have a feeling they will be fine. We have some months. They will be able to practice in maybe in the UAE, and I think they'll be able to come together. I really want to see them be there, and I don't know what the ICC can do or the BCCI even can do, but
Yeah.
you know, there should be some, um, countries should come together to do what they can to make sure that the Afghan team can be there for T20
Yeah.
because I think it'll just be a better T20 World Cup.
Of course. बहुत शुक्रिया, थैंक यू वेरी मच प्रीति, बड़ा अच्छा लगा क्योंकि आज का शो एक्चुअली व्यूअर्स हम क्रिकेट के ऊपर नहीं करना चाह रहे थे. वी वर कवरिंग द अफगान इशू एज वेल एज द उसके जो असरात हैं इस रीजन के ऊपर. तो प्रीति को इसीलिए इनवाइट किया था इन द शो. क्रिकेट के ऊपर यकीनन वर्ल्ड कप भी आ रहा है, उसमें भी हम वो करेंगे. हिंदुस्तान टूर इस वक्त कर रहा है इंग्लैंड का, और बड़ा हिस्टोरिकल लॉर्ड टेस्ट जो जीता है लास्ट डे, मतलब दैट वाज एक्सेप्शनल विन बाय द हिंदुस्तानी टीम. बड़ा मजा आया था, यकीन करो. मतलब किसी को यकीन नहीं था क्योंकि वो प्रिडिक्टर भी ये बता रहा था कि इट विल बी ड्रॉन. बट
Yes,
वो बट
it
ये
it
बड़ा.
went it went from 95%. Well,
या.
first look, England 70% win. The draw was 95. Draw was
या.
65. And in the end, with half an hour left to go, boom, Siraj bowl them out. Amazing
Exactly.
performances by the bowlers, Muhammad Shami and Muhammad Siraj, our gems. They made it happen. They
या.
they won the game for
Exactly.
India. Absolutely.
दैट वाज एक्सेप्शनल कि 120 के ऊपर इंग्लैंड टीम को लॉर्ड्स में आउट करना, मतलब मजा आया था. और यकीनन आगे जो कॉन्टेस्ट है भी, दो टेस्ट और रहते हैं, तो उसको भी हम देखेंगे और एंजॉय करेंगे उसको. बड़ा जबरदस्त लगा. और उसी दिन पाकिस्तान का मैच था वेस्ट इंडीज के
West
साथ.
Indies.
लास्ट विकेट पे हम लोग हार गए, लेकिन कॉन्टेस्ट अच्छा हुआ था.
Yes.
3 कैचेस ड्रॉप हुए थे और हो गया खैर, लेकिन हिंदुस्तान जीता. उसकी बड़ी खुशी हुई थी कि यार इंग्लैंड को इंग्लैंड में लॉर्ड्स में
Yes.
हरा है, हिस्टोरिकल ग्राउंड में. दैट वाज एक्सेप्शनल. तो कंग्रेचुलेशन तो मैंने उस वक्त कह दिया था, लेकिन अब दोबारा क्योंकि प्रीति से बात नहीं हुई थी तो उसको
Thank
भी कहूंगा.
you. Everyone is so happy, and it's amazing to see, Pakistani fans celebrate and be
Yeah,
happy for Indian team because a win in Lords against England, if a
absolutely right.
subcontinent team wins, whichever subcontinent team it is, it doesn't. It's a
Sure.
win for the whole subcontinent because
Of
we
course.
traditionally struggle, and just as they struggle with spin, right? So it's a big win, I think, for many countries. I think
Sure.
everybody was, other than England, everybody in the world was celebrating India and very, very happy. So
ऑफ
I'm good.
कोर्स बिल्कुल सही है। और हम बेस्ट ऑफ लक कहेंगे। पाकिस्तान का इस वक्त टेस्ट चल रहा है और इंग्लैंड के आगे हिंदुस्तान के 2 टेस्ट होने हैं इंग्लैंड के खिलाफ, तो हम दोनों टीम्स को कहेंगे बेस्ट ऑफ लक एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच प्रीति फॉर ज्वाइनिंग द शो। क्रिकेट के ऊपर हम करेंगे जैसे जैसे अफगानिस्तान के हम यही करेंगे, खुदा करे कि अब वहां पे पीस आए, अमन आए, क्योंकि लोगों की जिंदगियां बड़ी खराब है। हम यहाँ इस्लामाबाद से देखते हैं या पेशावर से देखते हैं, करीब है, प्रीति वहां से यूएस से देखती है। हिंदुस्तान में हमारे बहुत सारे दोस्त इसको कवर कर रहे हैं, मीडिया हमारा पाकिस्तान का, हिंदुस्तान का और इस रीजन का और इंटरनेशनल मीडिया भी। तो कुछ मतलब तस्वीरें ज्यादा अच्छी नहीं है, ज्यादा हौसला अफजा नहीं है। लोग परेशान हैं, लोगों के अंदर एक बहुत सख्त किस्म का डर फैला हुआ है और वो किसी तरीके से निकलना चाहते हैं अफगान बॉर्डर से। ताजिकिस्तान हो, उज्बेकिस्तान हो, पाकिस्तान हो या इंडिया हो, कहीं पे भी उनका मौका लगता है, या फिर यूरोप, अमेरिका, कनाडा अगर उनका मौका लगता है किसी का, तो वो जाना चाह रहे हैं। तो मेरे ख्याल में तालिबान इस सारी सिचुएशन को देख रहे होंगे। हमारी सोसाइटी के लोग हैं, हमारे जैसे इंसान हैं, लेकिन हम उनसे भी रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि यार फॉर गॉड सेक लोगों को जीने दो यार, बस अपने तरीके से। आप खुद कुछ बड़ी दाढ़ी रखते हो, छोटी दाढ़ी रखते हो, पगड़ी बांधते हो, नहीं बांधते हो, लेकिन किसी को ये करने के लिए अगर आप ना करें तो मेरे ख्याल आप मजीद बेहतर तरीके से लोगों के दिल जीत सकते हैं। ना कि आप बंदूक के जरिए, आप ठीक है मुझे बंदूक से डरा सकते हैं, बाकी जो हम बगैर गन के लोग होते हैं आप हमें डरा सकते हैं फॉर द टाइम भी, लेकिन हमारे दिल नहीं जीत सकते, क्योंकि दिलों में हमारे वो नफरत रहेगी। उसको खत्म करने के लिए यही चीज है कि आप अच्छे तरीके से लोगों को इंसानों की तरह इंसानों को ट्रीट करें, तो मेरे ख्याल हालात बेहतर हो सकते हैं। प्रीटी ऑफ कोर्स हम इसके ऊपर कोई और शो भी करेंगे जैसे टाइम होगा, क्योंकि टाइम का बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंस होने की वजह से ऑलमोस्ट 11 to 12 आवर्स, तो मैं इसलिए प्रीटी को ज्यादा तंग नहीं करता कि वहां पे रात होती है, यहाँ दिन होता है, यहाँ दिन होता है तो वहां बिल्कुल रात होती है। तो लेकिन फिर भी प्रीति ज्वाइन करती है। वंस अगेन थैंक यू वेरी मच प्रीति फॉर ज्वाइनिंग द
Thank
शो
you,
एंड थैंक यू वेरी
Yousafzai
मच।
sir. Thank you so much, and I look forward to coming back on your show soon.
बहुत
Thank you,
शुक्रिया।
guys. Dhanyawad. Thank you to all my wonderful
थैंक यू,
Pakistani fans as well. Thank you.
थैंक यू वेरी मच व्यूअर्स फॉर वाचिंग डिबेट विद फखर यूसुफजई। किसी और डिबेट पे फिर मुलाकात होती है। टेक केयर एंड बाय।